I swear, the whole chaos started with a single slice of bread. Yeah, bread. You'd think a family argument would explode over money, property, or at least something dramatic. But no, in my house, we can start World War III over toast. So there I was, early morning, half awake, trying to make myself a peaceful breakfast. I put one slice of bread in the toaster, turned around for literally 2 seconds, and boom, my younger brother Jason swoops in like a hawk, snatches it out, and goes, "Thanks, bro," like I was making it for him. Now, normally I'd let it slide. But that day, I was hungry, sleepy, and cranky. I snapped, "Jason, that was my bread." And he goes, "Well, possession is 9/10 of the law. Who even says that at 7 a.m.? Of course, Mom heard us. She stormed into the kitchen, still wearing her pink bathrobe, hair standing up like she just fought a tornado. She shouts, "Can't you two behave for 5 minutes without acting like wild animals?" Dad, who was sipping coffee, just muttered, "Welcome to another episode of As the Toast Turns." He thinks he's a comedian. Anyway, Mom decides the fair solution is to make more toast. Simple, right? Wrong. Because the toaster jammed. Smoke started puffing out like we were about to set off the fire alarm. Dad panicked and grabbed a spatula like it was a sword. Jason grabbed the fire extinguisher but accidentally sprayed half the counter instead. And me? I was just standing there wondering if anyone in this family had a functioning brain cell. That's when Grandma walked in. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, Grandma lives with us. She's 75 but has the energy of a caffeinated squirrel. She sees the smoke and instead of helping, she goes, "Back in my day, we didn't need toasters. We held bread over an open flame with our bare hands." And then she actually lit a candle and started waving a slice of bread over it. So now the kitchen looked like a circus. Jason was slipping on extinguisher foam, Dad was trying to fight the toaster, Grandma was roasting bread on a candle, and Mom was screaming like she was directing traffic in New York. And me? I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. But things didn't calm down. Oh no. Because then our neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins, barged in through the back door. Why? Because apparently, the smoke from our toaster was visible outside and she thought the house was on fire. She came running in with her tiny chihuahua, Sir Barkington, yes, that's the dog's name. Sir Barkington immediately launched himself at Jason's leg, thinking the foam was snow. Jason started hopping around the kitchen with the dog attached like a furry ankle bracelet. Mom shouted, "Not the dog. Not the carpet." Dad shouted, "This is why we can't have nice things." Grandma shouted, "Somebody flip my bread, it's burning." And Mrs. Jenkins shouted, "Should I call the fire department or the police?" By now, the kitchen was a full battlefield. Jason was spinning in circles with the dog still hanging on, Dad was pulling the toaster apart with pliers, Mom was threatening to ground everyone, even Grandma, and I was, well, recording the whole thing on my phone because let's be honest, this was gold. Now, here's where the real disaster hit. Jason finally shook off the dog, but in the process, he knocked over the orange juice pitcher. It spilled everywhere, on the floor, on the counter, on Grandma's candle bread experiment. The candle fizzled out, smoke rose up, and Grandma shouted, "You ruined my artisanal toast." She said it like she was a 5-star chef on a cooking show. At this point, Mrs. Jenkins decided to help by opening every window in the kitchen. Except she forgot about the ceiling fan. The fan was on full blast, and as soon as she opened the window, a gust of wind whooshed in, sending napkins, mail, and the half-burnt bread slice flying around the room like confetti. One piece of toast smacked Dad right in the face. He didn't even flinch, just muttered, "I've been through worse." We all froze for a second. There was toast on the ceiling, juice on the floor, foam everywhere, the dog barking like it was auditioning for a horror movie, and Grandma dramatically clutching her burnt bread. And then, everyone burst out laughing. But of course, peace didn't last long. Because suddenly, Mom noticed my phone. She realized I had recorded the whole disaster. "Delete it right now," she yelled. But Jason had already snatched my phone, uploaded it to his social media, and added the caption, "My family versus breakfast. Who will win?" Within minutes, the video blew up. Notifications started pouring in. Jason was grinning like he'd won the lottery. Grandma asked, "Am I famous now?" Dad groaned, great, now the whole world knows we can't even make toast. And Mom? Mom chased Jason around the house with a slipper in her hand, screaming, you take that down right now. Spoiler, Jason didn't take it down. Instead, he added dramatic music, slow-motion clips of the dog attack, and captions like, Grandma's bread, gone too soon. The video went viral. People were commenting things like, who needs Netflix when you have this family? Protect Grandma at all costs. Dad fighting the toaster deserves an Oscar. Suddenly, our family breakfast disaster became the funniest thing on the internet. Even the local news wanted to interview us. Mom was mortified. Dad said, at least now we're famous for something. And Grandma? She just sat there signing slices of bread like they were autographs. But the funniest part? A week later, a random fan mailed us a brand new toaster with a note that said, for the family that turned breakfast into a blockbuster. And Jason? He still brags that our family chaos made him an influencer. But I know the truth. We're just a bunch of weirdos who nearly burned the house down over a single slice of bread. And you know what? I wouldn't trade that madness for anything. So after the whole viral toast incident, Mom decided our family needed some normal bonding time. Yeah, because nothing says normal like dragging 5 lunatics to a crowded shopping mall on a Saturday. The plan was simple, buy groceries, maybe some clothes, and definitely a new toaster. The execution? A total disaster. We piled into the car, Dad driving, Mom with her shopping list, Jason blasting music like he was DJ of the century, Grandma insisting she should be in the front seat because elders deserve shotgun, and me just praying we wouldn't make the evening news again. The second we walked into the mall, Jason ran off yelling, I call dibs on the electronics section. Grandma shouted, I'm going to the perfume counter, they always give free samples, and Mom screamed, nobody separates. We stay together. Which, of course, everyone ignored instantly. First stop, the appliance store. Dad was on a mission to buy a serious toaster. He stood there comparing models like he was choosing a new car. This one has 7 browning settings. 7. Do we need that kind of power in this household? Meanwhile, Jason was sneaking Bluetooth speakers into the cart, and Grandma was bargaining with the poor salesman like it was a flea market. You want $40 for this? I'll give you $10 and a coupon for free hugs. Then came the clothing store. Mom wanted everyone to try on matching family outfits for a picture. Jason put on sunglasses, a leather jacket, and started posing like a rock star. Grandma tried on glittery sneakers and declared she was starting a dance career. Dad got stuck in a fitting room because he grabbed pants 2 sizes too small, and I swear I could hear him whispering, send help, from inside. But the real chaos began in the grocery store. Mom had her list, bread, milk, eggs. Simple. But Jason filled the cart with chips, soda, and 3 bags of gummy bears. Grandma threw in 10 cans of cat food, mind you, we don't even own a cat. When I asked why, she said, for emergencies. Emergencies? What kind of apocalypse was she preparing for? Then, in the frozen food aisle, Jason challenged me to a cart race. Naturally, I accepted. We zoomed down the aisle, narrowly dodging other shoppers, until Jason swerved, crashed into a giant stack of frozen pizzas, and caused an avalanche. Pizza boxes rained down like confetti at a championship game. A store employee just stared at us, dead inside, like this was his 10th meltdown of the day. Meanwhile, Grandma had vanished. We found her at the sample stand, eating her 5th tiny cup of free yogurt. The employee looked exhausted, but Grandma just winked and said, one more, for the road. At checkout, things got worse. Dad was trying to argue about the toaster warranty, Jason was attempting to scan his gummy bears 3 times to make sure they weren't poisoned, Grandma was offering the cashier one of her free perfume samples as payment, and Mom was losing her mind. She screamed, this is the last time I'm taking you people shopping, which, of course, made everyone in line stare at us like we were a circus act. We finally dragged everything back to the car, bags ripping, Grandma still munching on free yogurt, Jason juggling gummy bears like a clown, and Dad lecturing us about financial responsibility while holding a toaster that cost way too much. And the twist? When we got home, we plugged in the new toaster, and the very first slice of bread got stuck. Smoke started rising again. Grandma clapped her hands and shouted, "Round 2, baby."